Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a clay rattle. First, we're going to take a ball of clay about the size of your palm. Then we're going to take a string and divide that clay ball into 2 equal halves. You're then going to make 2 equal pinch pots out of those pieces of clay. You want to make sure that the tops are flat and they are the same size and the same shape. This will be important when we want to join the 2 pieces together. But first we have to take a little bit of extra clay and we have to make the little rattles. They are little pieces of clay the size of a pea. Now it's important to wrap those little pieces of clay with paper so that they don't stick to the inside of your pinch pots. Now you need to slip and score the tops of both of the pinch pots. You want to make sure that both of the edges are rough so that they will stick together nicely. Now that you've scored the top of both of the pinch pots, you're going to add a little bit of water as your slip. Make sure that you add the water to both of the edges and seal the 2 pinch pots together. You want to add a little bit of pressure, but not a lot, otherwise your enclosed vessel will collapse. Because there's a gap, you're going to put a small little coil where the 2 pinch pots meet. By adding this coil, you will be able to now smooth those 2 pinch pots together so that it never looked like those were 2 separate pieces. This will allow you a smooth surface once we start adding our decoration or our embellishments. Now that everything is smooth, now you have a clean surface to start adding your decorations. Remember that anything you add needs to be slipped and scored. For this example, I'm going to show you how to start making a fish inspired by the character Nemo. I'm going to go ahead and attach both of my eyes, and I'm going to add a small piece of clay because I want the front of my fish to look popped out and not flat. So this is definitely not a nose, but it is a bump that I'm then going to carve my mouth from. Again, I want my front of my fish to look popped out, so I'm just going to take my tool and indent a little space so that it looks like a mouth. I accidentally took a little bit too much of the mouth off, so I'm just going to take a tiny little piece of clay and add that back on. One thing I wanted to mention while you're watching this part is that if you are using air dry clay, don't worry about the paper towel that's stuck on the inside. If you are using earthenware clay that will be fired, the paper will just burn away during the firing. So once again, we're using Nemo as a rough reference, but I'm just carving some lines so it looks kind of like stripes on the side of my fish. Just with a needle tool, I'm going to add a fin on the one side. So now we slipped and scored the fins on. One of them is a little bit larger than the other. And we're just going to take our needle tool and add a little bit of texture on that fin. Now the last thing you have to do is poke a hole. This will allow the air to be able to escape from the center. It will also allow the inside to dry out. And if there is no hole there, your rattle will explode in the kiln. If you're using air dry clay, your rattle will work as soon as your clay dries out. If you're using the traditional earthenware clay, this is how your rattle will sound after it is fired. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.